Whatever happened to the concept of hiring the best, most qualified person for the position? Don't give me any of this systemic BS, because it's not true. I am a business owner of 30 years. I've worked in the private sector. I've worked in the public sector. I don't care who you are. I don't care what gender you are. I don't care what you color your hair. I don't care what you do. If you prove to me that you can solve my problem, if you prove to me that you're excellent at operations, project management, sales, marketing, whatever position I'm looking for, that's all business owners care about. That's all corporations care about. We just want our headache to go away. You need to be Excedrin to my headache, period. I don't care what you look like. It has nothing to do with skin tone. It's 2024, for crying out loud. I'm so sorry for getting heated, but I mean, the stuff that is happening now, never mind the fact that Claudine Gay was the ultimate diversity hire. She was not only guilty of over 50 counts of fraud, but she even admitted herself in her own soulless language that she used duplicative language and that she declined or failed to apply attribution, which is literally code word for cheating. Literally. And she's still there making a $900,000 salary. She's still there. She's still a full-time tenured faculty. You know how many lives have been ruined over just the simplest error in citation, in plagiarism, etc., etc. I know kids who have been expelled, kids who worked their butts off, and a lot of them made honest mistakes. Gone, expelled. Why does she get a pass? Because of this failed abomination called diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI. And now, what I'm going to show you is going to knock your socks off. I'm going to show you how this has not only infiltrated higher education on a grand scale. I'm going to show you how it's infected. This is why I on the thumbnail I said, is this the real pandemic? This is a disease. This mentality is a disease. And you can't touch it, you can't feel it, you can't taste it, you can't identify it as easily as you can, the common flu or whatever. It's not easy to identify, which makes it that much more dangerous. It has infected the mentality, the fabric of our country and beyond, and it's reaped absolute havoc. And now it's wreaking havoc on the safety of you and I wanting to take an airplane, take a flight with our family, with our loved ones. Now it's even affecting that. New evidence have suggested, I'm going to share this with you right now. New evidence have suggested that DEI hires and DEI principles have dominated the aviation industry. Check this out. So this was infiltrated by some amazing people who shared this with me. This is the annual incentive plan for CEOs for Boeing. And it used to be in the old days that you were rewarded, you were awarded bonuses based on the actual performance of the company, performance of operations, performance of all of the metrics that are involved in understanding how well a company is doing. Well, check this out. Now, their 2022 annual incentive plan, if you look at the underlined areas there, for 2022, we will add 2 other focus areas critical to our long-range business plan: climate and diversity, equity, and inclusion. We have measured the degree of performance under each component. So based on how many diversity hires and DEI employees they have, they will get a performance score based on that. The target is 100%. And so this is absolutely amazing. So this is from an awesome Twitter account. Boeing's corporate filings with the SEC revealed in the beginning of 2022, the annual bonus plan to reward CEO and executives for increasing profit for shareholders and prioritizing safety was changed to reward them if they hit DEI targets. And so I don't know about you, and I also shared that post on my community tab of the LA Times, blatantly saying, the skies are no longer white. the skies are no longer white. This is absolutely terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. It should be terrifying to you as well. The fact that these companies are being rewarded for DEI targets rather than the thing that actually matters, keeping you and I safe in the air when we take off and when we land, we're able to see our families and be able to be assured that we are under the greatest blanket of safety possible. That's out the window. Now we are reaching, as long as we reach our DEI targets, you're going to get your bonus. So if you have an incentivization plan like that, where do you think the incentives are going to lie? It's not going to lie in safety. It's not going to lie in taking care of you and me. Scary, scary stuff. Privilege is characteristically invisible to people who have it. And this is unbelievable. Look at this. People of dominant groups, often believe they have earned the privileges they enjoy, or that everyone could have access to these privileges if only they work to earn them. In fact, privileges are unearned and are granted to people in the dominant groups, whether they want those privileges or not, and regardless of their stated intent. So you're basically telling me that my kids who have no idea about race, and I don't want them to know about it, have no idea about segregation, distinction, this, that, them, or other. You're going to infect their mind with some kind of inherited privilege that is oppressing you. So they are oppressors just by being born. Is that your kind of statement there? This is what's destroying our country. This is what's destroying the world, and we're letting these people get away with it. Claudine Gay is the first step, which makes my mission so much clearer. We need to end all this racism. We need to end all this separation of he, them, she, her, other. There is no other. We're all one human family on this rock called Earth that's spinning around this giant liquid hot magma sun. We only have so much time left on Earth. Why are we focusing on these things which don't matter in the real world? They don't matter at all. She actually put out an apology after this, which was really, really funny. There was a lot of hullabaloo about this. So check this out. So she put out this apology. Yesterday, I sent the January edition of a monthly diversity digest from the Johns Hopkins Medicine Office of Diversity Inclusion, which upon reflection, I deeply regret. Oh, upon reflection, or the fact that you were blasted all over Twitter? The intent of the newsletter is to inform and support an inclusive community at Hopkins, but the language clearly did not meet that goal. Clearly, Sharita, clearly. You should be fired. Because it was overly simplistic and poorly worded. You could say that 7,000 more times. It had the opposite effect of being exclusionary and hurtful to members of our community. I retract and disavow the definition I shared, and I'm sorry. I will work to ensure that future messages better reflect our organizational values. The Vice President and Chief Diversity Officer, Sharita Golden. These people, that's another thing, is all of these people. I'm going to show you another diversity advocate who just blows my mind. These people don't care. They don't care about diversity. They don't want diversity. They don't want inclusion. They only want to go after the means to their own end. They only want to achieve the means to their own end. It's only self-interest, self-absorption. That's it. It is racism pure and simple. It is racism pure and simple. Nowadays, if you call anybody non-white racist, you're canceled. By the way, this YouTube channel might get deleted. So I'm going to leave a link to my Rumble channel. Make sure you follow that, because there's a good chance. If you like this content and you'd like to see more of it, there's a good chance this is going to get deleted, because we're on YouTube right now, and it's YouTube is YouTube. Let's just put it that way. Okay. So there was another outing of when I heard this, I had to double check to make sure that this was even right. And when I actually reached out to this individual, boy, did I find out it was true. So I'm going to probably mispronounce this because, and it's not going to matter because these people get offended. No matter what, they get offended. And so I'm going to probably butcher this. But this is Adriel Parker, a Google DEI leader. Now, she has recently disavowed this and said that she is not Google's DEI leader. But when I looked at her LinkedIn, she, remember I said this in previous videos, she is somebody who profits off of this parasitic ideology called diversity, equity, and inclusion. She has her own LLC. She's a contract for hire. Remember, I said this in previous videos. This is a multiple billion dollar industry. People are making bank on training companies how to be racist, essentially. And she is a proprietor of one of these organizations. She's a self-employed DEI consultant. So I don't know why she would deny that she worked for Google, but listen to this. She's extremely upset that parents are teaching their kids not to judge others based on their skin color. So she's upset that people are not willing to judge based on skin color. DEI instructs employees to judge each other based on skin color in the workplace. That is an illegal practice in the U.S., and this is what she has to say. Listen to this. And she's now making a big fuss over how, they're all coming after me. Listen to this.
Also amazes me how many people are like, well, I don't see color, or it would be so much better if we just didn't worry about someone's skin tone. You as an individual are contributing to the problem because our broader society sees color, and it's not just physically seeing a color. There is so much more to it than just that. And if you don't understand that, you are again part of the problem. And it's just to keep telling people that over and over is so frustrating. And I was just on TikTok, and there's a trend where parents are teaching their kids not to see color, quote unquote. And I'm like, how dare okay, you? So the next round of people that are going to be joining our workforce, this next generation, are going to be dealing with the same issues that we're dealing with now. Because to say you don't see color, you don't see me. You don't care to acknowledge the struggles that people like me face. And we're not looking for problems. We're not, Clearly you're not looking for problems. Of course not. So I reached out to her before I made this video, and, because I always like to give people benefit of the doubt. I always like to get both sides of the story. Like, maybe she could clarify what she meant. She's a young person. She's young. And, when you see what produced this ideology, her context and her background and the universities that she attended, it makes all the sense in the world. So I offered her a chance. I said, hey, I'm going to be creating a YouTube video. I'd like to give you a chance to comment before I do that. Do you care to do that? And this was her response. LOL. Please, Professor Nez. Nobody dares give me the right to speak. That was her response. So instead of saying, hey, you know what? Cool. Let's talk about it. If she's such an advocate for DEI, educate me, enlighten me. Where is your, advocacy? Where is your sense of, I want to enlighten the world. I want to educate the world. I want to further the cause of DEI. No. You need to acknowledge my skin color. How dare you not acknowledge my skin color? How dare you judge me on the content of my character and not the color of my skin? How dare you? Parents, what are you teaching your kids? It's all about my color. You're denying me. You're a part of the problem. It's so unfathomable. It's so unfathomable. The level, this generation coming up. I always tell my kids, be careful of people who get easily offended. There's a lot of people you should be looking out for in life. There's a lot of people, if you see them coming on the other side of the street, you need to jump somewhere else or turn around. And always protect and, treat your personal space, treat your time as sacred. Don't allow anybody who is, toxic to invade your space, to invade your time, to invade, your time here on earth, which is so limited. And the another thing that I like to say is be careful, be wary, be aware of those who are so easily offended.
I used the wrong verb, I guess. Just like with all these kinds of people. You use the wrong pronoun, you use the wrong you misgendered me. All of that BS. Instead of saying, hey, you know what? That's so cool that you're making a video on this. This is an opportunity for me to not only clear my name, but maybe further advocate what I believe in, which is, if you look at her LinkedIn, it's all about diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is an opportunity for you, Adriel, whatever your name is. I'm sure I'm going to offend her just by saying that. If I say Miss Parker, which my parents taught me to respect, Miss Parker, that's going to offend her too, I guarantee you. Why are you so easily offended? What's the problem? What's the issue? I don't get it. It's very, very strange. Okay, the last thing, I'd love to hear from you too. Let me know in the comments. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about, which is this DEI parasitic disease, the real pandemic. Let's talk about this. The University of Michigan has more than 500 jobs. They just won the national championship. This is one of the biggest schools in America, one of the most easily recognizable programs in the world, especially in higher education. University of Michigan now has more than 500 jobs dedicated to DEI. I'll leave all these links too. I'll leave links to Miss Parker's speech, on recognize my skin color, not the content of my character. I'll also leave links to the aviation, findings with DEI, and I'll leave a link to this article as well. The University of Michigan continues to exponentially grow. Okay, the payroll, check this out. So 13 DEI staff members earn more than $200,000, and 66 earn more than $100,000 when factoring benefits. In addition, 76 faculty work part-time as DEI unit leads, advancing diversity efforts in one of UM's 51 schools, colleges, bringing UM's core DEI headcount to a whopping 317. The number of positions at Michigan advancing DEI exceeds more than 500. What are these people doing? What are they doing? Why do you need that many people? What a waste of money. That brings the total number of employees advanced DEI on either paid or unpaid basis to well more than 500 and possibly as high as 600. The University of Michigan disputes these findings. Diversity, equity, and inclusion are core values at the University of Michigan. As such, there's not a specific budget. Oh, so it's more than that. It's probably more than that. Wow. The university's DEI efforts are appropriate to the size, scope, and complexity of our university, spanning the university, including 51 units over our 3 campuses. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So I'll leave a link to this article. So, I mean, the whole premise here, the whole purpose of this video, I think this is the real pandemic. I think this is the real issue. Again, as somebody who worked in the private and public sector, I never ever once looked at color. I never ever once looked at your background or cared what ethnicity you were. If you prove to me that you put in the work, the blood, sweat, and tears, you're willing to listen, you're humble. There's really only 2 types of people in the world, according to me. There's good people and there's a-holes. I've seen good people on every different walk of life, and I've seen a-holes, multiple colors of the rainbow. It doesn't matter to me. To judge someone based on the color of their skin, whether it's to hire or anything at all, or any discriminatory practice, is exactly that and nothing else. It's discrimination. Education has been infected for decades. It's the reason it's produced people like Miss Parker and millions just like her. I mean, millions just like her. When's the last time you tried talking to somebody under the age of 30 and actually having a decent conversation? I don't know if I've ever talked to somebody in the last 5 years under 30 without offending them. I've offended all of them, probably. I mean, I've literally offended all of them just by, engaging in a conversation. I mean, I can't even say hello without offending these people. Why? What's going on here? What's happening here? Why have these principles? Why have these methodologies? And now you want me to fly? Now you want me to fly? with these people as well? Now you're basically, what you're doing is you're including these principles, you're including this atrocity that is, diversity and inclusion, and now you want me to have somebody unqualified fly me and my family? We got a vacation coming up soon? Holy macadamia nut. Here's what I would say. To all of you who support this, to all of you who believe in this, to all of you who think this is actually a beneficial practice and concept, it should be required that every single DEI supporter can only fly planes by diversity hire pilots and crews. You can only get houses that were built by diversity hire engineers. You can only get surgeries, procedures, medical checkups, etc. done by diversity hired surgeons and doctors. And your kids can only be taught by diversity hired teachers. That should be a requirement. If you believe in this, if you're so strongly for this concept, I mean, it's as simple as that. If you're for this, if you really believe in this, then those are the only kind of people that can help you, period. Then what's the issue? What's the problem? I want to throw this off to you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. We have an amazingly important, the stakes cannot be any higher this year, 2024. And beyond. If you're watching this in 3024, let me know. Leave a comment. Somehow I'll get to it, I promise. Maybe my AI version will respond to it. I want to hear from you. I truly believe this is the disease. This is the real pandemic of our country. It's infected, infiltrated every institution, every organization imaginable. And it's creating and wreaking havoc. It's destroying lives.